Hello, my name is Cristina Dragomir and I'm Associate Professor at Constanța Maritime University from Romania and the President of the European Center for Social Responsibility. This video enables you to discover ways to multiply your income as well as ways to make savings. You will hear advice from experts from the maritime sector, like professors or seafarers, having already expertise in these aspects. And you will be the one to decide what advice is most suitable for you and which would be your best choice. The role of the video is to enable you to develop well-being for long term. Therefore, you should be really wise what you do with your gainings on board vessel, because seafaring is a really tough activity and working on board vessel is not easy. Therefore, be wise and the best thing you can with your income.
Good day, my name is Dr. Pa. I am a master mariner and professor, and I have served in the maritime industry for the last 40 years. And I am one of the advisors for APEXN based in Busan, Korea. Today, I am giving my opinion on the importance of personal financial planning, and this advice is to you, young seafarers who choose the most beautiful career at sea. This global financial crisis and COVID-19 has a high impact on the shipping industry. We saw a trade decline affecting many seafarers worldwide, especially those who have family obligations. Our profession at sea is extraordinary. Despite the advertisements of being far away from home and family, our way of life and work is very well rewarded. However, many seafarers fail to secure their future. One of the most common reasons is the lack of information and knowledge about economics and the long use of personal finance. Most young seafarers who spend many days sailing spend their money on unnecessary things, and some of them do not know how to use their salaries once they are on shore. Other common factors and mistakes by young seafarers are the wrong use of credit card, no investment, and no plan for retirement. During your career, it is very important to start a financial and saving process to help you in the future, especially when family obligations are around. It is essential to understand that the shipping company is not after you helping with financial matters or welfare. Honestly, I always hear people complain about how important it would be to get a financial advisor when they are young. For that reason, I would like to give you the following advice. There is a big difference between saving money and invest money. Invest your money as much as you can when you are young, and one of the first recommendations is to cover your health and life insurance, because most of the companies do not cover during the leave period. Also, it's highly important to plan your budget to saving money for an emergency for at least 3 or 4 months in case of change work or during this financial crisis. Also, it is essential to save for home purchases and make a plan to pay for your house for the following years. Finally, try to reduce your financial obligations with unnecessary things. Realize what you really need in your everyday life. I strongly recommend you a mentoring plan for this, and you can request guidance from experienced seafarers on board. Besides, it is vital economic education which helps you to improve that way you use your budget. If you have any doubt, do not hesitate to get in touch with Apexen for any advice.
Hello everyone, I am Aditya Shankar from ICE1 South Asia, a seafarers welfare charity, and today I would like to share a few financial literacy advices for seafarers. As observed, seafarers are generally so occupied with their work and securing contracts that they forget to focus on managing their finances properly. Financial literacy and planning are just as important for seafarers as they are for anyone else. ICE1 has compiled a list of tips to help seafarers who are just starting out in their careers and want to understand their finances better. First, we'll go over some pre-departure recommendations. Seafarers must share a signed copy of the contract with their families and ensure that the next of kin is clearly checked and updated during contract renewal. In the event of a mishap, a copy of the contract letter with the employer's detail is essential for any compensation or other settlement claims. Salary is deposited directly into the bank account of the seafarer by the company. Before joining the ship, the next of kin must be authorized to use the account. Next of kin should be able to operate the account in the event of any mishap on board, such as piracy or any other accident. The seafarer can reach an understanding with the family member to set aside a portion of the remittance as an emergency fund to be used in the event of urgent needs. To avoid any confusion, it is recommended to clearly communicate the expected remittance in the account after any deductions. Prior to joining the ship, next of kin must be granted access to the loan account, electricity, phone, and gas connection bills. All passwords must be shared with next of kin and stored in a safe place for ease to remember. Always ensure that the seafarers take up health insurance, travel insurance, and other life insurance policy and are able to renew them within the expiry dates. They can change the settings for an auto renewal to ensure that such policies may not get expired due to non-payment of policies. Now, let's talk about the recommendations during the sail. To avoid any fraud, seafarers should keep a track of their wages on a regular basis and should not share critical information such as passwords or other details to operate bank accounts with their family or friends via online means or by phone. If they bring cash on board, they should keep it in a safe or locker and avoid overspending on non-essential items. It is always a good idea to have cash on hand, but when visiting different ports and cities, seafarers should carry a limited amount of cash with them to avoid overindulging in activities that could jeopardize their saving plan. Seafarers should be careful with the use of internet cafe and other publicly available internet to access their bank accounts. They should ensure that such accounts are properly signed out before logging off from the computer after using them. Expensive gifts for children's family members should be handled with caution, as this may not be the first or last time they expect such gifts from a seafarer. After returning back from the vessel, seafarers should visit their bank or have an online access to their bank accounts and download statement to reconfirm on the transactions. Seafarers should carefully plan to invest their money into saving schemes and may take up help of trusted financial planner to help them understand various options available in the country. As most seafarers work on contractual basis and are not employees of the company, they do not have access to pension funds, gratuities, or such other government social benefit schemes. Where seafarers have the opportunity to contribute to such social benefit schemes, they should make good use of them and ensure that they and their families continue to benefit even after retirement. A general rule is that starting to invest and saving early, even with a small amount, can yield good results in the future. As a result, financial planning should be viewed as a habit rather than an investment. Seafarers should be reminded not to put all their eggs in one basket. There may be various stock market linked investment schemes and not all of them provide a high return. Before investing in the stock market, it is necessary to conduct thorough study For example, debt plans, equity-linked and insurance-linked plan can be considered based on the risk-taking appetite of the seafarer. When investing in real estate, seafarers should look for a long time horizon rather than a short time frame. Such investments require high capital and should not be lured by projects that are only on paper. They should instead invest in those that have been completed or are nearing completion. Before making any decision, the seafarer should thoroughly research the builder's or company's reputation. On pretext of high return in a short period of time, manipulative financial planners in the market may defraud and loot seafarers. Prior to investing their hard-earned money, they should always consult with the bank or a trusted investment firm through proper channels. Many countries may exempt seafarers from paying taxes if they spend a certain number of days outside their home country. They should thoroughly research current income tax laws and file tax returns on time, as applicable in their country. The consequences of not filing tax could be severe, resulting in heavy fines, imprisonment, or both. The seafarer also needs to prioritize the training requirements and renewal of other documents that relates to their employment before going through other household expenses. This will ensure that they shall qualify to go back on board before running out of money in case of excess spends during holidays. In general, seafarers are normally paid their wages in US dollars. Exchange rate fluctuations may put an impact on the remittance. They should try to open their accounts in public banks or trusted private banks in their home country. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I'm Dr. Angelica Bailon from the Philippines. The future of seafarers are uncertain. Hence, deciding on what to do with your finances is imperative so that when you're no longer on board, you will still be secured financially. Hence, it is important to OODA look your financial plan, which is also known as decision cycle. The SWOT analysis is used when you have already decided and have taken action. But if still undecided, then use the observe, orient, decide, act OODA loop methodology, which was developed by Colonel John Boyd of the U.S. Air Force for an efficient and timely decision so as to get ahead from competitor or opponent or the external environment or threats, which is unforeseeable events. The OODA loop is a cognitive cycle consisting of 4 main stages: observe, orient, decide, and act. I will explain each stage on its own and within the context of the seafarer's financial planning. First is observe. Understand where you are now and your current position. Take all relevant inputs around you. In a financial world, observation means to inwardly know and understand yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, your financial situation, the roadblocks, and financial goals relevant to you. And outwardly, observe and understand market trends, market returns, possible investments, legislative taxes, and if buying a house, housing price index, volatility measures, and a lot more. The second stage is to orient. Orient is a process and the most critical and focal point of the OODA loop. Closely tied to your training and experiences, it gives you the ability to analyze and synthesize critical data and to disregard irrelevant inputs. Orienting financial information can be challenging. To be successful, you must constantly be shifting your perspective to fit the new reality. The third stage is to decide. Guided by the observation and orientation stages, the final decision is still yours. It could either be strategic or tactical. If it's a long term and takes time to deliberate, then it's a strategic decision. For example, is stock options. You observe data such as its value and its strike price. Then you orient the data by asking if the price has grown annually and the sensitivity of the market forces. And also, of course, your liquidity to buy and hold the stock. Your observation and orientation will make you finally decide whether you will exercise a cashless transaction or buy and hold the stock. Tactical decision is a short timeline that requires quick decision. Example, whether to accept or decide the offer to be assigned in a new vessel or new work. And therefore, you observe data such as salary, benefits, and flexibility. Then you orient the data with your current shipping company, comparing which employer will benefit you most. Your observation and orientation will lead you to an informed decision and act by either accepting or declining the offer. Another is deciding to offer to purchase an investment property. First, you observe the data, your monthly income and expenses. Then you orient the income and expense information. Once you know the cash flow, among other investment specifics, you can then decide if the purchase makes financial sense and if you should put in an offer. Then the fourth stage is act, that is putting them into practice. Acting is not the last stage because the OODA loop is a learning system. As a seafarer, you must observe that although you are well paid, but mostly your money goes to remittances or saving in the bank with negligible interest. You have not built up much in the way of investments outside your bank account, nor some stock options to work. The next step would be to orient yourself by looking at what kind of investments are available that fits your requirements and budget. Then you might decide that you want to be invested by the end of the month and then take action to make it happen. Then time passes and the loop restarts. It's time to review your investments, if whether your investments has performed and if there are new options available and so forth. However imperfect, seafarers need a financial plan. Nobody accomplishes its objectives overnight because it is an ongoing process. Most seafarers often fail to make timely decisions or any decisions at all. Either they're overwhelmed by numerous options or are scared of the unknown outcome. Seafarers must employ a simple and straightforward OODA loop, which is important when dealing with money, so as to encourage seafarers to decide and act in a timely manner to move the process forward and effectively achieve financial freedom, confidence, and security. With that, thank you and good day.
Hello all, my name is Captain K. Karthik. I am the Dean of the Nautical Science with the Amet University in Chennai, India. I am happy to share my bit of experience and suggestions with reference to financial planning for seafarers. I would suggest that seafarers are first at the advantageous sides of getting a substantial and sumptuous income. So if we reasonably plan well, then we can secure our future. So I would suggest that first of all, the seafarer needs to control his temptations towards investing in gadgets, because these are all the most alluring things for a seafarer, where he tries to spend his money, but they are all going to be junk. It is giving you momentary pleasures and it is going to sap the savings. And I would say a seafarer can apportion his income into this way. Maybe he can consider 40% of his income for saving, wherein no need for him to put him or her to put the savings, that is putting all eggs in one basket, where the 40% of his saving he can apportion into categories. Let's say like bank fixed deposits, where there is though there is a investment is minimal, but it has got a good accessibility for emergency. And secondly, he or she can consider investing in mutual funds, depending upon what type of risk level they would like to take, either equity or debt funds. And if they are good in trading, They can invest a nominal amount in shares as well, depending upon how much experienced the seafarers are with reference to stock market fluctuations. But the safe bet would be, depending upon the place where you reside, investing in real estates, that is a good house, land, or apartments would be beneficial, because housing is the third most important requirement for any human being after food and clothes. So the 40% of his income could be considered on essential saving, and the rest 40% should take care, for 40 or 50% should take care of his higher studies, that is the exams, the expenses what a seafarer may incur to pass his examinations, to do the course, and various other requirements which he needs to do. These are all expensive, so he needs to apportion some funds for that. And also, I would say that 10% of the income could also be considered for social service, because what we give, it always we get as well. So I would suggest that investing in funds like provident funds, where we get the strength of compounding of the money which is invested, which multiplies and comes back and gives a very good return in the years to come.
The contract-based working structure of seafarers may turn into a financial crisis for the seafarers, with the unexpected delays and waiting of periods and while attending the ships. And my first suggestion to all seafarers to calculate the total earnings yearly basis and dividing to 12 months in a year to see the monthly budget for spending. And it is simply a feasibility study for an individual basis, and if the monthly earnings are less than your monthly spendings, credit and loan payments, and suggest stop doing it. And if the most important side all of the feasibility, if one day I lose my job or my health condition goes bad, am I able to compensate myself for a period when I'm unemployed? And we need to ask ourselves this question. And secondly, setting your own Excel sheet and visualizing the incomes and expenses will be a good asset. To check and to limit yourself on a financial budget basis. And my last suggestion is also creating and investing in additional income areas. This can be simply a stock exchange and buying a new house or a car, or investing in a good earning company, and to create additional income areas which will additionally provide a financial profit to you. However, I prefer all seafarers to do it with a good knowledge as first. So my last suggestion is invest in yourself as first and then create such areas. We are in 2021 and the world is in a big change with technology and innovation. And please always remember that the money is yours, and so is your life decisions.
Good morning, everyone. So that's my name is Dr. Joseph Lau from College of Professional and Continuing Education, the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. And so that I would like to thank for the invitations to make about the video recording about how to make about the good financial planning for the seafarers. As I know that seafarers has a very low salary at the beginning, and so that if we can have a good financial planning, it could help to the seafarers to do some of the sustain their life, very important. So that I think the seafarers associations maybe to establish some of the funding scheme, and so that maybe let's say request for some of the seafarers to input some of the fixed small amount in the seafarers account, and so that link up with the some of the interest rate, and then buy some of the stock, and then get some of the profit or revenue. So that it is first thing I think the Seafarers Association can maybe learn from Hong Kong, request some of the employees to invest some of the small amount of the money per month, and then link up with some of the interest rate, has the high interest rate and low interest rate, and then get back about some of the financial returns. And the second one, I think maybe Seafarers Association can link up with the bank, and so that can help them to make about some of the financial planners to make them more how to allocate their money, how to allocate their salary about that. And the third thing, I think if the seafarers want to build up their family, I think they can to try to buy some of the houses as early as possible, and so that to get some of the returns after few months, after few years, and so that sell it out, and then it can get some of the money as well. And also I think the seafarers can be try to do some of the investment schemes, some of the planners as well, and so that it is very important. And so that this is just about a little bit advice for the seafarers how to make about the good financial planning. So that to conclude, have some of the mandatory funding scheme with the Seafarers Association. Second one, can ask for the bank, handy financial planner to allocate their funding as well. And third, maybe buy some of the houses and buy low, sell high, for the later on can get about the profit as well. And so that, thank you very much.
Dear guest, my name is Alexandra Ciucanu and I'm a Vista member. Together with Vista Romania, we decided to make a webinar about financial planning, which seems to be like a taboo subject still in the industry. Where the different stages of seafaring requires different financial plannings. We are in the stage of apprenticeship or cadetship where the money are very few and we don't have so much financial planning that we can do. There is a qualified officer of the watch, engineer of the watch, electrician, and so on, where we have a little bit more money, but they just cover our day-to-day costs as major human beings, let's call so. And the management level where we have good amount of money, which we are supposed to plan it the best way. Where the resources that you need in order to make financial planning, and this can be applied to all the stages. It's study and self-learning. Financial plan process, you can do this at all stages and it can be adjusted anyhow. You have to step and check yourself in any progress that you make, and you have to think about the retirement plan. Well, the study and the self-help, in the beginning, it can be free. There are YouTube videos, there are books, there are online trainings, there are webinars that you can use, publication graphics, whatever. Just start studying because it's so much important. Well, the financial planning is to create a medium to long-term financial planning for your savings in order to enjoy life and still put some money aside. Well, the steps and checks, each step that you make, you have to cross-check yourself in a biannually basis, maybe quarterly or maybe yearly. Make also research in each step to see what went good and what went bad. And the retirement plan. Today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can do what others can't, said Jerry Rice. The truth is, we have to spin ourselves in a circle. The study, apply, check, reinvest, and enjoy the process. First off, we have to know how much we're spending. It's not about stinginess, it's just about being present in our life. And to do this, you can use some apps, some very interesting apps, and you will understand how much you spend. If you don't know how much you spend, how would you know how much salary you need to have and how much salary plus savings you need to have? So this is like a very good lifetime control. Well, how to apply your knowledge is, that's a very interesting question. Let's say that from 12 months you're working 7, and this comes the seafaring part. From 12 months you're working 7, let's say on 2,500, I put it here, whatever you want, dollars, pounds, I don't know, euro, whatever. And then when you calculate the amount that you have per month, so on a monthly basis you can spend like 1,500, so it's not that much actually if you put it that way. Well, from this monthly amount of money, you kind of know how much you can save. The savings actually for a seafarer has to be
quite much, because we have different crises in the industry and you need to feel comfortable about leaving ashore for a while. So you can do this, and this is just an example of calculation that I made. It's the monthly spendings times 12 plus 30%. This 30% is like an emergency fund, so you can use it when you have to. Well, if your monthly spendings are somewhere around 800 and you multiply it with 12, you will reach somehow 9,600. Plus the 30%, well, in a yearly base, you kind of need 12,500, let's say. But you don't have to keep this money in the bank and just, keep it there and that's it. Maybe you can put them to work for you, but put it somewhere that you have rapidly access. So in this case, you also put the money to work for you, but in the same time, you still have access whenever you want. Investing, well, preferably is to invest in something that you can monitor from on board, because sometimes we don't have internet, so you cannot be actively involved in the growth of money process. So try to do something that is quite simple for you. In what we should invest, what are the investing methods? Well, there are different investing methods based on the risk. There is low risk, medium and high risk. So whenever you keep your money in an economy account, for example in the bank, this is a very low risk, but the yield is like 0.2, 2.7% per year. So it's kind of low. Actually, it doesn't even cover up, the money loss that is happening yearly basis on each estate. You can invest in bonds. There are corporative and state bonds. Especially we have in Romania some very nice process that you can invest for 3 to 5 years, and the yield per year is like 4% maximum. And it's a good one actually, because at least you will get something that you can use. The real estate, this is also a very good investment, but this is not just limited to the apartments and buildings and spaces. It's also can apply to the stock market. You can invest in companies that are building, or in companies that are making the materials for building, or you can invest also in funds that are found in the real estate and so on. And the yield is kind of good. It's 7 to 9% per year. So, and they also have like a medium risk. It's not very high actually. The whole idea is to invest, and I'll show you immediately a dividend calculator, which kind of pictures very well what can happen if you save money on a monthly basis for the long term, because getting rich overnight, this is something that will never happen. Well, you can also invest in cryptocurrency. It's now it's a fashion to invest in cryptocurrency now, in stocks and commodities. I saw so many people investing in gold and oil, because oil nowadays is growing, and whoever bought it before, it's having now a very, very good yield. Affiliation also in a company can be a very good investment. For example, you loan to one of your friends who is opening a business, and he's giving you 30%, 50%, I don't know about it. And you don't have to be actively involved in it, but it's a medium to high risk investment, so you have to be very careful. Kind of that's it. Thank you for your attention, and follow Vista Romania webinars, because there will be plenty, and we expect to enlarge them in a very beautiful manner.